Hello, everyone. Welcome into another episode of a Good Morning NASDAQ here on our lovely YouTube channel. What am I gonna wait? Hold on. Is this the last? No, this can't be the last Wine Wednesday of 2020. Not Wine Wednesday. This can't be the last Good Morning NASDAQ of 2025. Um,
No, we should be able to do the morning ones at
yeah,
least next.
we there is trading on Christmas Eve, so technically this is the third to last. We have technically three more. The year has flown by. Welcome in, everyone. As always, like and subscribe. For a second, I just hit me. And I was like, was this the last one? No, it's not. False alarm. Um, but yeah, for those who don't know, the usual here, instead of going over gappers, we're going to do some live trading today. So first call it, 15, 20, 25 minutes of the market open. We will be here shouting out some names, some calls, and see what happens of it. We're going to go over our watch list here. Welcome in Huddy and Dom. And
Thank you.
I'll leave it to one or
Hey,
two
thanks
to
for
kick us
having
off.
us.
No, of course. Um, kick us off, Dom. What are we watching this morning?
Pretty light. You know, it's a big day or big week. Anytime, a trade actually ends green. Beat finally went higher. It took patience. It took sticking to risk. There was a lot of moments in yesterday when we wanted to give up. We talked about it in the webinar yesterday with me and Kyle. When it was in that process of doing nothing, why I decided to kind of stick to risk and let it be. Ended up playing out fine if you just zoom out and look at like a multi-day chart. Pretty nice move. And I think gapping up this morning. I think I saw it at the 450s at one point.
410.
Nice to see. I think we're all rooting for it at this point to go higher, do more volume. Volume has definitely been drifting since the initial spike days. So you don't want it to get to the point where it's a first red day, but there's like a million shares being traded. So we'll see there, but probably a better breakout chart than a first red day chart coming up. Um, so nothing to do with that one. We have YCBD also gapping up pretty significantly. Been highlighting the levels here in the room, the 170 breakout level and then the overhead resistance from, what is this, late September. And right now we're gapping above both. It's a pretty significant move for this stock. If you look at the last few days, it's really not done a ton of range. It's kind of chopped around over under the opening price. Hasn't really, what is it up from the close? Like 140 something to, as
Yeah,
high as the twos, like
144,
60 to
43.
80% move is not something we've seen a whole lot of on this stock. So it's not one where I'm like dying to like buy it if it holds 194 really quickly. If it comes all the way back down to 170, it's probably not all that cute. Uh, I'm gonna watch it though. Those are the key levels. I'll have lines on my chart at 170, 194. This sector, I've been saying it all week, like just not my favorite. And this I think isn't even directly correlated. It's kind of all CBD from what I remember from whenever we talked about it, me and Huddy last week. Um, I think Huddy was using his product, something like that. But it's there. It's up a lot already. If I was already in, I'd probably be happy to be selling low twos. So do I really want to be buying there? We'll have to see the action. We'll have to see the volume. And the worst part is you probably have to see what the overall sector is doing. Tilray, CGC, those are the other ones that I saw yesterday, kind of up. They're not even up as much as YCB. Did YCBD have news today? Let me just see.
Let's see. I guess no, but maybe.
I don't see any, which is kind of weird that they would gap up this much when the others aren't, but it's all sector blah with these stocks. They're all beaten down. And I know Huddy mentioned he might be interested in the $2 area on CGC, but YCBD looks to be a come and gone. The next one is CLYM, which Kyle was watching closely for our first red day yesterday. Ended up just being a very nice green candle.
Just rebounded
Um,
back.
right back up towards the breakout level, gapping down a couple percent right now. I know it sounds insane, and other people might not call it a breakout, but I call 482 a breakout level for me. Uh, it is on day like 7 or 8 of this move in terms of being just strong green candles every day. But I do think there might be more in it, especially if shorts got interested yesterday. The volume is not massive here by any means. The biggest volume day was 22 million. So if this breaks out, I'll probably be looking for some sort of continuation move through that level and not look to overstay my welcome, just because of how much it's up already. But if it could have like a little blow off squeeze into the fives or six area, that's kind of the other stock that's on my watch right now. Maybe it kind of has a little red day and then tries to break out tomorrow or Friday. Open to that as well. So, but volume is kind of the iffy thing there.
Alrighty. Huddy?
All right, I'll just go quickly. I'm watching all those weed stocks, but I'm not going to do anything with them today. But I think they should be watched. They're running on good volume. AMCI is the first red day chart that I'll have tabs on. Some type of spike towards red green is what I'm looking for. And CLYM. I agree with Dom. It is a breakout chart. It's extended at the breakout, which is why we don't like it. But I guess I'm watching it for a breakout, and we'll take my medicine if it doesn't work.
Oh,
That's it.
Nice. Simple. Yeah, pretty much same here. I don't like CLYM for a breakout, as in I wouldn't love or feel comfortable buying it for the reasons that Huddy and Don mentioned. Like, we're already in a run. But this very specific look, when it has a wick and then a green day inside the wick, it usually it kind of is a sign like, hey, this run isn't over. But we are gapping down, which is not usual. Like, something that comes to mind, I think it was AMC, was it? Back in over yonder, 2020, one of the 2020s. Yeah, like this, right? Where everyone thought this was the high. Next day, gaps up, catches everyone off guard, and then gaps up, and then, kind of a breakout over this high, and it just had led to a huge move. There's another example I had, but I forget which kind of ticker it was. But the point is, I've seen this kind of, structure before. And so I clearly see it on CLYM where it's like, yeah, having yesterday not a red day and just grinding it back does leave me curiosity of like, can we and do we squeeze over this fours? Now, gapping down is not on that expectations, but then again, we gapped down yesterday and we spent like 2 minutes red, a minute red, and then that was about it. So it could happen the same thing today. I don't think if it fails, I don't think I'll short it. I think yesterday really kind of crushed the odds or the expectations for a red day, unless it goes to, I don't know, 6, 7, then it's like, okay, great. Then we'll restart for a red day idea.
6, 7.
6, 7. I saw a video of the Grinch, and he goes 8, 9. So stupid. Yeah, AMCI as well, also looking for a red day here, like Huddy mentioned. The only thing is I hate it's gapping down 20%. And so if this doesn't spike to, at least maybe 13 at the low end, 14 at the high end, I'm not going to feel comfortable on it. I mean, this ticker in general, just this kind of price action to me is a disease. It's just it's not fun to be a part of. Anyone who was trading this yesterday or just watching it, like it's just gross. So I don't know. Beat, nothing for me to do with beat. If it does go higher today, or really if it closes here or higher, probably on watch tomorrow, but I'm going to just grab my popcorn and watch this one. And other than that, I only have 3 swings on. I've got some TSLL, or Tesla derivative, 2X. All-time highs breakout yesterday. I didn't buy it there. I bought it early lower, but hoping that move continues. WDC didn't get stopped out of that, although it was close. It was hovering against the 10 right yesterday, so would have stopped out of the close below that. Still live there. And then HL silver is actually gapping up. How much is silver gapping up? Pretty large, pretty big. At least $1.50, almost $2 a share, which is a huge gap, but tells that the run is clearly not over. And HL is a silver/gold mining company, and so they are gapping up, and the run is still continuing over there as well. So the only 3 I have on, probably the only 3 I have on for a long time, because the market sucks for swings. But all right, we got 3 minutes. AMCI is popping just a smidge. Let me pre-borrow some shares just in case. Let's see. I might not even short it at all if they're too expensive. Let's find out. And again, if you have questions, feel free to put them in the chat. We may not get to them right away, but after the dust settles over a few minutes in the open, we will start doing some Q&A. All right, we got cheap borrows. Nice. For as sketchy of a like low float like price action this thing is, kind of trips me out how many borrows there were, how easily borrowable it was just then. So we'll see. But all right, 2 minutes here. Let me see the chat. Okay, good morning, everybody. We're holding stocks overnight. When do we take profit? I mean, that's a very general question. Do you wait until the market open? Depends on the setup. Depends on the setup. If I was long beat, I'd probably see if it could run to 450. But if I was long beat from 2, I'd probably be selling at 4 out the open here. It's very situational. So maybe naming a setup or an example you have, that would be better. Because also we could be talking about shorts. What if I'm short something overnight? Do I just cover out the open? I don't know. Depends on the setup. All right, we got 50 seconds here. The other swing that I probably should, I'm not going to rebuy it because the NASDAQ's still crappy, but I did sell this yesterday just because I didn't like it. Being in it for practically 2 weeks and going nowhere, I was like, you know what, let's just play defense and protect ourselves. But TTI is still hanging around, you know? Could justify I still should have just kept it, but at the same time, like, even if it does go back over like 9, does it still go, or does it end up being at 9 for 2 weeks straight? Who knows? All right, 15 seconds here. Let's keep AMCA up. Let's see if it spikes.
What did you say? Like you only short that if it spikes into like 13 or?
I think 13 at the minimum, but really closer to 14 the better.
It's kind of like, yeah, trippy because it's opening below all this support from yesterday.
Right.
And then it closed at basically high day and that daily resistance at 15.
Yeah. I mean, it's literally down 20%. Like, it's anyone who's shorting here. I mean, yes, there are runners. There are one-off runners where, yeah, you can short it here and you're still going to make another 10, 20% lower. But like the odds are so not in your favor. Like if you're shorting here at negative 21% of the day, thinking there's a high odds chance over a sample size of 100 gap downs like this that you're going to make another 10%. Like I think over time you'll be really, really awakened. And so it's like I have to have something that puts this thing only down 15, 10, 5% because there's just the risk reward here is awful. Makes no sense. Tesla spiking. Look at that. Nice. Might be short-lived though, who knows. CLYM didn't spike yet. That's down.
That's kind of nasty.
Yeah, it's down 10%. I would not have expected that if it was going to break out strongly today. It's too bad. But it could hold and break out tomorrow. I don't know. We'll find out. CGC over 2. Beat pulling back to 380. What's silver doing? Yeah. Holding the gap up so far. That's good. All right. AMCI, maybe a delayed spike here. Let's see. And again, this is, I guess, I don't mean to bash on him so much, but it's like, okay, say we even do spike to 14. It's like, then I'm looking to cover. I would be looking to cover here. It's like, I'm not, even if it does spike, I'm not looking to get short and then still look for lower, like sub 10. It's like, I would short 14 and probably cover 12 and call it a day, or cover 11 and call it a day. There's a world, yes, it could drop to 8 today, but that's like, again, catching 50% down red days is far and few between, and is not the norm, or really ever the expectation, right?
Weed spiking. YCBD kind of held that 194 daily level.
Nice. CGC 217. Tesla higher, sick. CGC 220. Let that thing go. I'm sure all the weeds are up. I'm kind of hoping this is over. Like, I hope, like, I don't, some people are asking, like, why don't anyone, me, Dom, or how do you really care, or all that jazz about weed? Like, this is a sick run. Like, why aren't any of us all over this? And it's like, we've been, and I don't know if you feel the same, Hunter, Dom, but I would assume so, because we've grown up together in our careers practically. I'm just tired of seeing weed news. Like, just make it federally legal and get it over with. Like, I've seen so many. It's almost like we become. It's almost like they're crying wolf, right? Like, I've seen so many new headlines and PRs year after year after year of like, this is coming, federalization is coming, reclassification is coming, oh, this state's going to make it legal. And it's just like, again, you look at the chart, it just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. And it's like, unless the final end of being federal legal changes all this, which it probably could, but I'm just like, I am just over it. Like, I'm exhausted. I don't care to play them anymore. Like, maybe I'm lazy, maybe I'm just tired, but I'm like, good for them. Just get it over with and do it already.
Yeah, it's just the charts aren't as pretty as they used to be.
Yeah, that too.
And I mean, today is kind of the first real day of, like, maybe yesterday on like Tilray, but there really hasn't been a ton of range and excitement here. Like, the CGC spike is one of the bigger ones I've seen in the past week. It's like 20 cents. That's why I was kind of more interested in YCBD this morning. I'm a little confused why it gapped up so much, but it was the better looking daily chart of the bunch, the lower flow, all that stuff.
Makes sense. Still no spike from AMCI. Tesla coming in now with the market. What's new? Yeah, market's coming in. No shock there. Things have been crap. All right, let me look at the chat here. Go through your questions in here. Not much going on, unfortunately, but I actually don't mind it either. If I didn't take a trade today, it would be a nice feeling. Frank says, if I want to trade Tesla for 1 to 2 days, what is the best use? Is it TSL? I mean, whatever you're comfortable with. I mean, there's no, Again, it's trade it 1 to 2 days for what? What strategy, right? You're using, what technical patterns are you looking for in Tesla? Like what are your expectations? What's the risk reward? What's the win rate? What's, are you looking to be aggressive? How much, like, there's it, like all these can lead you to answers of like, yeah, I can be aggressive and take something that's 2x leverage of Tesla, or I could just trade the stock itself and be totally fine. Just trading, forget if it's Tesla, or any ticker that has a double X leveraged ETF, like, maybe you have a setup and just don't want to go into it, which I understand, but trading anything for 1 to 2 days is just vague. Does AMCI remind you of CMBM, crazy price action where they soaked shorts and longs? I don't even remember CMBM. Why don't I remember this one? I probably didn't trade it. No, I mean, I can't speak. I mean, maybe we can go into the intraday, but like this daily candle, just from a daily perspective, and again, I say that because intraday could change the story drastically, but just from a book cover, looking at the daily, this looks far easier than AMCI. Like AMCI, if AMCI was going to be easy, it should have crapped itself so hard yesterday. You know what I mean? Like gapping up from 7s to 12s after being up from 3. Like this shouldn't have had a move to 15, in my opinion. Like odds, statistically speaking, and CMBM I think fit those odds, right? Where you run from 60 cents to $3, then you gap to nearly 556. It's like with the odds of that holding shouldn't be high, and so crapping itself down to 3s makes total sense. So maybe the intraday action was different. It totally could be, but from a daily perspective, like this is a good chart, at least from a short seller's point of view. AMCI lower. It's too bad. Now there is a world, and I've done this rarely, but there's a world where the risk reward could make sense if you're willing to short it here and then just risk the high. But it doesn't make sense because I think there's going to be reward. It just makes sense because the risk is tighter, that if it does drop, say like this, now it's down 30%, it does make for a positive risk reward equation. I still rarely do it though, because I still am uncertain how much it actually is going to drop. So it's like what I would short. Say 1150 risk, which is 60 cents. And now I'm up a little over $1, so like 2 to 1. It's like, okay, it works, but it's still not great. And again, I still don't know how low this goes. Maybe it goes to 8, but again, I can't expect 50% down on the day. What else is moving? Anything going on? No, sadly. Okay. Shorted KYTX and took a single. Let's take a look. KYTX. Gapping down today. What's this? Oh, weird. Not really a chart for me, but right on. I can see it. Do you think the pre-market and after-hours momentum will fade in 24-hour trading in 2026 due to halting? Wait, what? Do you think the pre and after momentum will fade in 24 hours in 2026 trading due to halting? I don't know if I understand the question here. Pre-market and after-hours momentum. I mean, I'm not a pre-market or after-hours trader. I think most money is made for me in the regular market hours. So I don't have the same point of view as you have. I guess if you're asking is like, if there's technically no more pre-market after hours, then does that mean everything has to volatility halt? I'm assuming is what you're asking, which we don't know that to be the case just yet. There still might not be halts. Maybe it may be 24-hour trading, but there's clearly going to be, like, you can't just change people's habits too quickly. Like, there's still going to be an open and there's still going to be a close, right? Or Whether they stick to that and then now have no halting in after hours or pre-market, maybe not. I don't know. But no, I don't. Everyone's kind of freaking out and losing their marbles over 23-hour trading or 24-hour trading. The reality is already happening, guys. If you have a broker, if you have like a Schwab or like a Robinhood, like there's 24-hour quotes already. Like it's already here, right? And so I don't think, there will be changes, but it's like people are like thinking the world's going to end the way I read some people's sentiment. Like it's going to be okay. Yeah, things will change, things will adapt, but like no, momentum is not going to go away,
Yeah, they hold on to their marbles, right?
They just lose their marbles, man. People don't like change, so rightfully so, I get it, but you got to put your logic cap on it and calm yourself down. Everything's gonna be all right. Okay. Still nothing exciting out there. I'm trying to take a look. Tesla's still doing whatever. CGC's pulling back. Beat hasn't gone anywhere. CLY. What's up?
Sorry, I sneezed.
No, that's all right. Bless you.
Yeah, I don't see any buttons being pushed this morning. Could have been aggressive, I guess, on YCBD 194. But you got 3 minutes to make that decision, and on a 40% gap up, I probably need to see it trade out a little bit more, unless I feel like risking $1.50, which I don't. And we don't even, it's not like it's at sell prices yet. It's only up 20, 30 cents from that area. Volume's pretty good on YCBD so far. So let me see, what is the volume the other day when it gapped up?
300 mil.
Wow, it did massive volume, 300 mil. We'll see. I think if there's a case for one to separate itself and become like a runner on its own of the sector, I think it's this one, CGC, and it's kind of holding up. Tilray just went red for a minute. Like Tilray's Tilray. I don't really care about. I'm not going to trade that one, but yeah, I think YCBD is kind of too far gone. Maybe it turns into like a gap up into tomorrow, but that's all I really see on the home front that's moving. Yeah, everything else in the market's red. Everything I see is red. What does it say? Wednesday?
Wednesday. All right, Tesla bouncing a little. Well, the market's bouncing a little. Martin asks, Kyle, are you holding TSLL for over 500 breakout? No, I'm holding till as long as the trend lasts. And again, 500 is not the breakout level. Technically, if we're speaking objectively, all-time highs level is what? What's this high? 488. But I think anyone who's swing trading Kuomage style should be long way sooner than that. Probably no higher than like 480 max. Ideally down here at the 450s. This was a good start here, but I did get shaken out on this day. And so no, if it goes to 500, I'm not just going to sell it at 500. I'm going to let this trend go as long as it possibly can, and then I will, stop out when the trend is over. Using moving averages. Which, given how the market's going, unlikely. The NASDAQ looks like it's going to continue to puke itself. So,
you ever think, Kyle, with these overextended gap downs, they used to be gap down, morning spike, and then fade, that these gap downs into previous support from the prior day, you could maybe do what you were talking about and enter with today's range even after 5 or 10 minutes, just because the crowded aspect of everyone wants a bounce, and so the bounce probably isn't going to happen, and so it probably fades off of these levels.
Oh, like AMCI?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it happen. The other aspect of why I don't like it, though, is because, not that it doesn't work, like clearly it's working for AMCI, but you can take that trade, but you have to be willing to give it another try, in the sense that, let's say we do short 1150, risk the high, we get a good 2 to 3 to 1 risk reward. What happens when it holds and then spikes, so you have to stop out over high day, and now it's actually giving you what you wanted in the first place. So it's like you now are playing that game of at least for me, I get caught up in the idea of like, okay, well now it's actually spiking. Let me short, and it's either A, risk the risk level that I was going to in the first place, or I try to get fancy again and I try to be like, okay, let's risk this new high, and let's risk this new high. And the problem is you will get ones every now and then that just kind of always make a new high every like 15 to 30 minutes and never actually pull. And then you're just caught in this washer machine of spinning where you're like shorting, stopping out, because it keeps going higher into the ultimate level of red, green, or high day, previous high day. You just keep on giving it more tries. So I have caution with this idea in the morning here, just because it's like if I do stop out, I need to be okay with giving another try, but retrying it with the essence of only shorting it one more time with the risk on like these highs, like the original plan that I wanted. Because the other option is a slippery slope. If I'm not okay with that. Man, down 30% at 10. All right, we'll do a few more questions before we get on out of here. Travis asked if QQQ gets back over 10 SMA and starts to look better. Any interest in BTU for a swing? Let's take a look. I was watching this the other day. Yeah, I mean, it looks good. I don't like that it's below the 50, but it's hanging in there. I got my lines drawn, but I don't know. I've lost hope for the NASDAQ. Like, yes, it will come back around. Like, the markets always go up over a longer period of time, but I don't know. It just for some reason I just feel like the end is not like I don't care for a recession or a pull. I just know something about this pullback. I'm just like so not pessimistic, but just like I have zero expectations. And the only expectation is that like we don't come back. Eventually we will, but I'm just like, I don't know. I'm telling the QQQs to kick rocks.
I feel like because of that, it's just gonna like bounce back one day. Like it's just kind of like I feel the same way. Like every day, I just have the intraday up, and it's just like down and downtrending, and it's just lulling you to sleep of like pessimism, and then all of a sudden it's just gonna
one
throw
day,
like
yeah.
a 5 or like a 2%, 3% green day on the board, and
all of a sudden everyone's worries is all over, and that's what I kind of hate about it. But it's human psychology, so like I get why it happens. I just hate it, and the reason why is like this whole AI thing. So, like anyone with a forward-looking view knows the technology of AI is like going to rapidly change the world and probably a lot of growth in the economy, at least in the AI space. Yeah, other sectors will be lost, other jobs will be lost, so there'll be uncertainty, there'll be some shaky things happening. So like I get that, but it's like the littlest inconvenience about AI comes along, and everyone loses their marbles. Again, losing their marbles over here. Like,
oh my gosh,
people are talking about how like the depreciation of chips isn't correct and the math is off. So then people are not, the profits will look bigger. Then it's like this pullback, and then it's like, oh my god, Oracle's down because they don't think they're going to be able to produce as much chips, and if they don't produce enough chips, then the AI won't be. And it's just like people like every little inconvenience. People just like lose sight of anything that they thought was going to happen in the next 5 to 10 years, and we just get these pullbacks. Now, these pullbacks aren't that bad. They could always be worse, right? I think the SPY in particular is like just still chilling at highs, which is great. So in terms of like big picture, we're still very bullish. It's so annoying that even the slightest inconvenience for like an overall NASDAQ or an overall index, like any swing I'm in is just going to drop 10, 15, 20%. And it's like, what the hell just happened? NASDAQ's down 2% and my swing portfolio just got obliterated. It's just kind of silly, but I get it. It's the name of the game. But anyway, all right, a couple more comments / questions. We'll get on out of here. We asked Dom about YCBA or YCBD, but I think Dom answered that one. Slight cosine, can you not take a starter on AMCI and leave room for 250 or 1250 13 but catch the move it just had? I mean, again, yes, but Okay, so let's say I take a at most a fifth starter or a 10th starter. Okay, it works. I make I make something that literally doesn't change anything about like my life. Like it doesn't, my account barely goes up. This is not even it won't even cover a fraction of a loss if I actually do take a loss. And on the flip side, if it does spike, yes, I have no problem scaling into the spike. Like maybe I started in a little bit at 1250, some at 13, some at 14. But again, the toughest part about and the biggest flaw about the overextended gap down, which is why I hate it the most, is that you will inevitably take full-size losers when you are wrong, and you will never get full-size winners. Or not never, but rarely. And this is why. Because if you scale in, let's say every 50 cents, 12.50, 3, 13.50, 14, 14.50, and I'm risking like 15.50 or this high up here. Well, if it spikes all the way to the point where it stops me out, well, I just filled every single piece. So now I'm taking a full-size loser up here. But let's say it spikes and it goes to 12.50, then 13.50, and then 14, but doesn't fill me at 14.50. So I get 80% of my size, and then it dies. Now I have a winner, and yes, it is a decent win, but it's going to be 20% less than what it could have been or what the loss would be if I stopped out. Now, granted, risk reward will hopefully be still correct. You're still going to win 2 to 1, 3 to 1. But the problem is when you look at the stats on paper at the end of it, it's like if you scale in like that, you better be pretty good at scaling in, because if you scale in at the point where you never are full size on your winners and you're always full size on your losers, it's a very tough uphill battle. And so as much as I like the scaling in idea, it makes me feel comfortable. I used to scale in all the time doing it years ago. But now it's like I kind of have to just pick a single spot, take it all, and then just trust it from there. You know, like preferably I'd rather it spike to 14, take all my size of 14 and be done. Because then I know for a fact over the long run, I can have full-size winners and full-size losers, and the stats should play out from a risk reward and win rate perspective, if that makes sense. So I don't love, again, it still opens the door to a slippery slope of trying to be smart of like how to scale correctly. Because again, the variance is so high. Some don't spike, some spike 10%, some spike so much they stop you out, some spike just enough to fill you, but not enough to get full size. It's like there is no I don't have enough expectation of how much they should be spiking to get to and where to be getting, you know, where to scale it, where to be scaling in correctly, if that makes sense. So. And then people were saying that every technology, people were saying the same with steam engines. Yeah, I mean, it's like first it was the horse carriage, then it was the car, then it was the printing press, then it was the TV, then it was the radio. Like, yeah, it's everyone's just lose their minds over the newest change in the world. All right, last question here. Are PTX setting up for a good swing? Gap down, good news, and holding our PTX. No. Volume is awful. This intraday is very illiquid. This is reading Braille. This has to spell something in Braille.
I don't know how to read Braille.
Yeah, too liquid. I mean, chart wise, yes, looks strong, looks basing nicely, looks like another move, but liquidity wise, it's just not there. It's not there. But all right, guys, thanks for tuning in. Sorry that today was maybe a little uneventful trading wise, but it'd be like that sometimes, and that's all right. Wine Wednesday tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern. Dom and Huddy will likely hold it down. I might show up late. We will see. But, yeah. Have a great rest of your Wednesday. Any thoughts, quotes, comments for the viewers?
Is Huddy still here?
Maybe. Probably not.
No words of wisdom today. I think I wasted all my words of wisdom yesterday in the webinar. We did a lot of talk about data and mindset and perspective in this current market cycle. You got to stay in your lane, whatever lane you should be in. You know, maybe like Jack and Nate are over there in the left lane going 84 on cruise, and I'm supposed to be over here right now in this right, like 2 lanes over, not even in the middle, like 2 lanes over right behind the truck, like 64 on cruise. And that's going to keep me safe. It's going to keep me from pushing extra buttons. It's going to keep me from making unnecessary mistakes and drawing down for no reason. Stay where you belong. If there's no trades, don't take trades. Don't let anyone, including us, convince you to buy a weed stock today or to short weed stocks today or to buy Tesla. Stick to what you do best. Stick to where your edge is. And the amount of opportunities will increase at some point. You just got to be patient and wait for it.
There we go. I like it. Alrighty, folks. Have a great rest of your lovely Wednesday, and we'll see you guys later. Peace out.